Today we have a game played between two players. One is known for being the ultimate macro player and the other one is known for proxying hatcheries on the other side of the map. The bottom left spawning as the blue Zerg we have Bly on Fire, also known just as Bly. And in the top right, the man that loves to build more command centers than he has barracks. It is of course SouL. It's a bit of a clash of styles and very often these guys play very close series as well, where Bly tends to proxy hatches in his opponent's natural and his opponent's third base and his opponent's, I don't know, what's this, the 8th base? Like Bly can build a hatchery anywhere on the map, okay? And this time it seems like he's going for his own natural, which in your regular game perhaps would not be too surprising, but if we're watching a Bly game, perhaps is a little bit surprising. Now, just because he builds a hatchery at the natural does not mean, of course, that he's going to play a macro game. It could mean that. I don't know if he actually plays macro games in ZVT. The last few times I watched him play ZVT, he either roach rushed or proxy hatched. So I'm kind of curious to see what he does if the game goes more standard. And at least the first 2 minutes are going to be a little bit more standard. We see a standard hatchery, gas, pool, the most standard of Zerg openers, and we see SouL most likely go into an SCV scout. I'd be extremely surprised if he doesn't SCV scout. There we go. Sends out this SCV straight away across the map and starts his own Reaper at home. We're gonna be heading into a game that will resemble something of a normal game. Until Bly decides something different, obviously. I'm gonna be so sad if this is just gonna be your standard macro game and Bly decides today is the day I'm gonna start macro. When I saw this game, I was like, alright, that's Bly. You know, I know what Bly likes to do. I know who he is. But what's this guy doing? Okay, he's just gonna go down towards the natural. Every time I see a drone move, I'm like, oh, maybe he goes over here and builds a hatchery. But no, Bly just sends it down into his natural, starts mining with his drone, starts up 2 queens, and will most likely start his speed as well. Then we'll see if he pulls out of gas and whether he'll get a 3rd base and all of that good jazz. Single gas so far coming out of SouL. Would not be super surprised if he takes a 2nd gas and decides to go into something like Banshee. Gonna be opening up with double Marine after Reaper? No. Okay, I was gonna say, I'm curious what that is for. I haven't seen that all that much, honestly. Double Marine before Reaper. He's not in this matchup. It's gonna be opening up with a triple CC. Is SouL, and we have double queens at the same time coming out of Bly, and we see the lack of a 3rd base. So this is a little bit different than we usually see. Usually, of course, we see that faster 3rd base and then only a single queen at the natural. Perhaps later on followed by a 4th queen from the main base. But also he went for inject first rather than creep tumor first, which usually indicates some type of 2 base. How did he manage to sneak those out? That was really sick. I don't think SouL realized that at all. Holy crap. They just ran by. That's absolutely beautiful. Now we have the tumor as a... the next 25 energy finishes up. These links are probably just gonna wait at least a little bit more, and then when he sees those 2 Hellions pop out, probably move across the map. I guess he's gonna try to pop in with those Zerglings, huh? There comes one link, sees that there's Hellions there, tries to get the full scout, sees the starport, or sees the 2nd barracks timing. At least doesn't see a starport or anything like that. We have a quick layer coming in, so as 2 more gases. No 4th gas though, so this is feeling more like a roach Nydus than like a Spire. Because then with a Spire you want to get as much gas as possible. We have a 3rd base going down here right now. Okay, we have the 4th gas. This is going to be 2 base Muta. But with a roach warren. But a hidden roach warren. You'd say if you're trying to fake roaches, is that you'd build a roach warren in the wall, so your opponent might be able to see it. But maybe this is... Well, actually, I have absolutely no clue what this is. No, it is Nydus. Okay, I thought with Nydus you only needed 3 gases. He's just taking a 4th gas maybe for the fake? In case the Reaper pops into the main base. Good movement there with the links out of Bly. And yes, we indeed are going to be seeing something a little bit unorthodox. We have a single Marine patrolling the outskirts here of the base of SouL. I think he can cover basically everything. We have an... Oh my god, that's a beautiful scan. Nydus network gets scanned. This is going to be a cancel on the Nydus network. And we're going to see a Spire go down. Yes? Absolutely no. 8 roaches on the way. Bly is looking for a spot, but he's not gonna find it. Instead, he's going to build his Nydus network outside of his opponent's natural base. There's a second bunker coming in already. We don't have a first tank even started yet. First tank is starting just now. 11 marines are out against 5 roaches. 2 ravagers are morphing in. This is just looking like a very solid start. The beginning of a defense. It's not a defense yet, but it's the start of a defense. Once that first tank is out, that's going to help a lot. There's not even near enough ravagers to try and one-shot a bunker here. I'm surprised this one isn't getting repaired though. SouL's getting ready for the Nydus in the main base. And Bly is just continuing roach production and creeping outside of his opponent's natural. So he's... What was that? Sacrifice one of the ravagers. So he continues... If he would continue drone production at this point, I would kind of understand that. He's creeping outside of his opponent's natural. He could perhaps delay his opponent's third base. But with this, I mean... The situation isn't gonna get better the longer the game goes. Good Hellion run by coming out of SouL here, by the way. I love that he just elevated those down. I think this got spotted though by Bly. So he should be... Yeah, okay, he has some roaches in position. He's definitely gonna be capable of dealing with that. These roaches are gonna do a fantastic job. SouL tries to go for the run by. Absolutely not going to work. Bly doesn't quite get the complete denial on the scout though. Very interesting. I mean, there's 2 tanks here at this point. The Ravagers shooting from a distance. 3 more Ravagers on the way. It's gonna bring the total up to 5. Could have been 6 had he not just sacrificed 1 Ravager for completely free. Yeah, and Bly's just gonna continue here. He's gonna continue spreading creep as well. 1-1 starts, and I think 1-1 is a little bit of a timer on SouL, where SouL's like, hey, wait a second, if I get another eBay? Is that the 3rd eBay? Nydus going down in the main base right now. Tank is semi in position, and at the same time he's moving in. I think he got a bunker there, but nothing else. I mean, this Nydus is gonna finish, but shouldn't be too influential on the outcome of this game. I wonder what the 3rd eBay was for. I think that might be supposed to be an armory or something like that. He's gonna go for another Nydus. Maybe this time he will be able to get a couple of units out, which would be nice. He's gonna go into the main base behind the natural. SouL should be ready for this though, right? 1 SCV goes down, misses a couple of battles. Here comes the first drop out of SouL. I think for SouL this is really scary because he's not sure whether his opponent is completely droning up. Like, this could be done with like 55, 60 drones, and then maybe SouL's a little bit afraid that he needs to break out, that there's 1-1 upgrades on the way. SouL right now is not aware that his opponent does not have Evo chambers, and all that Bly is really doing is hoping for his opponent to mess up and try to move out, try to take a 3rd base too quickly. But none of that stuff is happening right now. Here we have the armory coming down straight next to the 3rd eBay. A couple of depots are being built, as we saw SouL was walking straight into a supply block. Now this drop isn't going to be able to do too much. You see, oh, careful Bly. Slowing a bunch of money, by the way. Should really be careful. Needs to build enough units so that he doesn't just straight up die. Yeah, once 1-1 finishes, I feel like this is just starting to look really good for SouL. Sure, he's only on 2 bases, but Bly hasn't really been outmining his opponent. Like, the income is relatively equal because of course, the mules and the fact that SouL actually has 15 more workers. I think SouL might actually try to go for something of a push forward here. He has 4 tanks already. Finally 2 Evo chambers on the way here for Bly. Still floating about... Oh, a crap ton of money, honestly. Like 1,300, 1,400 resources. Oh, no. Oh, here come the drones as well. So Bly actually kind of transitioning into, well, I guess a mid game. So far, this kind of feels like an early game and all in that just kind of slowly but surely ends up in a mid game. Infestation pit going down, so might even go for. It wouldn't completely surprise me if he goes for an infestor follow up. Get a couple of infestors. We now have a 4th base going up soon as well. And at this point, I think SouL's starting to feel a little bit more comfortable. Takes out a roach, loses a marine. That's a good trade, though. Here comes a stim 4. It's going to be taking out a lot of these roaches. A couple of battles raining down. Not going to hit anything. Good micro coming out of SouL, who's on 1-1. Nydus going up in the back of the base. Is SouL paying attention? SouL's not paying attention. Here comes a stim. What are these guys stim for? Oh, there we go. A little bit late, but perhaps we'll still be able to take it down before anything major pops out. And that's indeed going to be the case right now. SouL at the same time pushing in, pushing forward. 117 supply for Bly against 148 for SouL, who is taking a pretty significant lead at this point. Another Nydus network is going down here. We see these tumors are still trying to spread their creep. And I think at this point all Bly is trying to do is just to deny his opponent's third base. He doesn't want that third base to land, but I think it's just a little bit too late. Yep, here come the infestors. Here comes 2-2 as well for SouL. Oh, SouL. So many tanks already. Such a powerful army. 6 tanks against 31 roaches and 5 ravagers. Bly decides to move in, move forward. It's gonna land a couple of those piles. A single tank ends up falling. 5th base on the way at the same time as his 4th finishes up as well. We have 3 queens in the main. Together with these spores, is going to be able to take out these medevacs. Just a terrible shift queue here coming out of SouL is not going to be able to save these 2 medevacs because he wasn't paying attention. And he's gonna end up killing 2 queens. But he lost 2 full medevacs there. That's a little bit sloppy. And at this point 1-1 has finished. Infestors are out. Fungals are not quite ready yet as pathogen glands was not researched. There's a roach run by coming in here as well. So all of this kind of puts SouL on a little bit of an all-in. Actually a little bit of an all-in, because all of a sudden it's 50 workers against 41. Bly decides to go for a semi-base trade with a lot of his roaches, gets a lot of damage done, and Bly says, well, I still have this as a third base. Where's your third base, buddy? And quite frankly, I'm not seeing it either. No, it has landed over here, or is floating above the landing location. 2-2 is about to finish up though here for SouL. There are still a couple of fungals ready. Oh, these marines shouldn't bunch up too much. Good fungal hit. Majority of these marines actually, but 4 tanks in the back still dishing out a lot of damage. 3 tanks stay alive for now. 1 tank extra goes down. 16 workers died on the side of SouL. 5 workers died on the side of Bly. Bly also lost majority of his infestors and a massive chunk of his roaches. Nydus going down in the back of the base once again for feels like the 17th time. There's no shot that Bly can defend this base. He needs to evacuate this. Gonna be going towards that far right base. Nydus finishes in the main base of SouL. Not going to be able to do too much. SouL's income actually isn't all that hot, only on 40 workers. Finally these mules end up dropping, and that should definitely increase his income by a little bit. Bly still mining from 3 bases at this point. So is SouL, and he starts his SCV production up again. I wouldn't mind if he gets a +3 attack here. Just a +3 attack. I don't think he necessarily needs the armor, but the +3 attack could be a very big deal. Nydus is going down once again. SouL, however, sees it, spots it with the SCV, and with these marines should just be capable. Hello? Completely not paying attention here is SouL. I mean, this is just not enough roaches though to truly do anything, I feel like. Once again, we have... Oh, there is a couple of fungals this time around. This base is going to end up falling. But... Yeah, oh! These marines died. A bit of a counterattack once again. The Nydus semi-base trades are really putting in a lot of work. These roaches are taking out a lot of marines. This tank is going to go down. I much would rather have him attack these SCVs though. That's going to be a major turning point, I feel like. Yes, that's a lot of SCVs going down once again. And SouL is falling to an SCV count below 40 for, well, the 2nd time this game really. 35 workers against 47. We have this going up as a 3rd base for Bly. Bly is outmining his opponent massively here. Gets the... I think this is the... Oh, Bly! It's the 5th Nydus in the back of the base. Oh, escape. There's no way. Where was it? Here. Did that escape? Did Infestor escape as well? That's so cool. Nydus goes down in the main base. 3 more workers are gonna go down. This CC is gonna probably try to turn into a planetary at the 3rd base location. Oh, that's a beautiful bow here coming out of Bly. Bly is doing so much damage. 7 workers have gone down. This game is absolutely bonkers, by the way. 31 against 46. 0 income currently for SouL, but he's still up 2 upgrades. He has a superior army, but he has absolutely no clue what's happening in this game. He's aware of this 3rd base. How many Nyduses have gone down? 10 Nyduses. That is a Nydus every 2 minutes from the start. No, wait, I can't count. It's only 15 minutes. In my head, this game's been going for 20, 25 minutes. Holy crap. With the speed that the first Nydus went down at about 6 minutes, it's been like a Nydus every single minute. It's like at the 5-minute mark, I think, was the first Nydus, or maybe 5:30? I can't quite remember. This is an insane game. 134 supply here for Bly. SouL has a lot of income right now though, and he finally has a planetary going up as well. These mules are really putting in some work, so the supply should kind of skyrocket soon. He's going to be going for +3. I think SouL is kind of misunderstanding this game. Why doesn't he just build a couple of bunkers at his third base? Why doesn't he just sit back and relax while he's dropping with 1 or 2 medevacts? Like, all he needs to do is not die at this point. Bly is not building any more workers. He's not increasing his upgrades, even though he could. Bly is floating a crap ton of money once again. Doesn't have another overseer though. Kind of want to see the 17th Nydus in the back of the base. Here comes the marine push, running into the third. It's gonna be taking out, or could actually just straight up go for this base. Is indeed gonna be going for that, and with that damage output, look at that beautiful damage output of these 2 marines. He's gonna lose a couple of marines, but he will be able to take out this base. Picks up, kind of a sloppy pickup, but does end up getting it. Only loses 7-8 marines, doesn't lose a medevac, and takes out a base. More importantly, takes out the mining at that base as well. Even though I say more importantly, this base is basically finished again already. So, not even sure how great that was. Tunneling claws on the way, but I think this 3-3 upgrades are going to be a real timer. Like, it's just a timer of death here for Bly. I said it before with the 1-1 and I was completely wrong. And what do you do when you're completely wrong once? You double down the same line of thinking, and that's what I'm doing here. 3 roaches gonna run into some tank fire, gonna die before they really do any major damage. I think 2 SCVs died and 3 roaches died, and that's not a trade I would like to take if I'm Bly here. SouL once again pumping up his SCV count to numbers that are almost acceptable. Main base is completely empty. There's a he's so afraid of the Nydus in the main base. It leaves 20 supply at the ramp. Poor guy. Sensor tower could be very helpful. I'm not quite sure why we are not seeing that yet. Oh, here we go. As I say that this sensor tower finish up, I would love to see a sensor tower over here as well. Turrets going down, tunneling claws is now a realistic possibility in the mind of SouL. And SouL is just in time actually here. Yep, here comes the sensor tower as well. Oh, these turrets are done already, Bly. You need to return back home. Hive is coming down now as well though. Here comes a push forward. Is this possible? Is SouL seeing this? He's hearing it. He has a big chunk of his army on the right side. Now he sees the entire army is here and he starts moving. 3-3 is about to finish up. Roach mainly for vision. Couple of roaches shading. Well, kind of like shading behind the natural. They got a couple of SCVs. Sensor tower is going to make it a lot harder though for Bly. Is also losing a lot of drones back at home. Another single drop. 3-3 marines taking out a crap ton of drones here. 22 workers are going to end up going down. Concussive shells 18 minutes into the game as 4 marauders are being produced at a time. Still being rallied to the ramp as SouL's not taking any risk with his main base ever again. And quite frankly, I can't really blame the guy. Coast even going down at this point. So no half measures here coming out of SouL. He wants to play it safe. He knows there's a possibility of something like Broodlords maybe. And I think that's actually what Bly is going for. Bly says, okay, the only way that I can win at this point is if I catch you off guard with Broodlords. But I don't think SouL can be caught off guard anymore because he already has Ghost on the way. He has enough tanks. He has so many marines. And with 3-3 marines, I think even with just the marine tank, he should be capable of beating 8-9 Broodlords. I guess the fungals would make it a little bit harder, but yeah. Marines are really quite powerful against Broodlings and Broodlords. If you get under them, these Broodlords are going to fall like flies. Gonna see 3 Vipers being built right now, but the Ghosts are also fantastic against the Vipers. We have the enhanced shockwave upgrade coming up about 60 seconds from now. Yeah, quite honestly, I'm not seeing it happen here for Bly. Bly seems to be in a rather rough position. And here comes SouL pushing forward. SouL knows it. SouL can feel it. He's very, very far ahead. The army of Bly is looking, quite frankly, pathetic. He's Gonna try to push in. Gets one of the ghosts. Couple of EMPs going down on Ravagers. That's not quite how the spell works, SouL, but I appreciate the effort. Here comes a burrowed roach flank, but I mean, there's just way too many tanks. There's 8 tanks. There's 3/3 upgrades on Marine Marauder Ghost against the roach army that is A, lower in supply, B, has worse upgrades, and C is already hard countered by the amount of tanks that are in this army. So Bly not ahead in his ABCs. SouL has those down a little bit quicker. I like the counter attack, but you do need to hold on at home. A couple of these blinding clouds are hitting absolutely everything. By the way, good fungals blanketing this army as well. But yeah, if he can't take down the backbone of this army. The tanks just remain. There's no damage to take these bad boys out. The roaches are going to end up dying as well in the counter attack. And I think with 39 workers against 52, with 3/3 upgrades against 1/1, and with Ghost shooting roaches, this might just be it. As Bly is losing his natural, his also overused Nydus network is about to fall against these 3 Marines as well. And GG gets called as SouL wins this game with more Nyduses than medevacs almost this game. So pretty interesting one. If you did enjoy this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit the like button, and hopefully I'll see you all next time for a new video. Bye bye.